Johnny Utah here, Sunday Fantasy Football coming at you. Hey, this is just a quick intro to the post-draft video that you're about to watch. There's been some additional breaking news that I could not ignore it. I had to plug it in this video, intro video, that is, to the real video. Anyways, and I bet you can guess what this news entails. It is the one, the only Antonio Brown. Yes, within the last 24 hours, he went from suspended, cut, back with the team, gonna play in week 1 to now. He has been released officially by the Raiders. And so we give a big shout out and condolences to the one and only Tex-Mex, the defending 2018 Sunday Fantasy Football champion. So rough start for him. Good start for this guy right here, Willie Beeman, wrong league. Johnny Utah, yeah, that's me. I play him week 1. Now he is down his number 1 receiver. So anyways, guys, there's been some technical difficulties with the site. I do recognize that. In fact, right now, there seems to be an issue because you can't access the site. I think it's crashing likely because of the Antonio Brown news. Everyone is scrambling to try and get Tyrell Williams or Darren Waller. That would be their number 1 wide receiver de facto with the new news that Antonio Brown's gone. And Darren Waller was a kind of a flyer as a tight end. I think he's going to get a few more targets now. I think that's pretty safe to say. Anyways, you guys enjoy the video here. Sunday Fantasy Football. Looking forward to playing with all of you. Love you guys. See you soon. Adios. Fantasy football fans, the time is upon us. Thursday night, the season kicks off. Packers at the Bears. We did our Sunday fantasy football draft last night. A little bit of a rough start. We had a couple technical difficulties. But in totality, looking back, I think everyone is at least pleased with the outcome and the rosters that they were able to build last night. So for the most part, I would deem it a success. Some quick takeaways I wanted to share with everyone. Doing some analysis, looking over some of the rosters, and looking just for, some of those kind of takeaways. I would have to say, after a thorough review of these rosters, that I really like Big Mark. That'd be Shack Attack Winners. Like his team a lot. He had, I think, the 10th pick, 11th pick. Anyways, was able to go ahead and get Julio Jones and then Juju Smith-Schuster on the turn. That's a pretty formidable wide receiver core, and not everyone's going to agree with this, obviously, but then he ended up with Chris Carson and Marlon Mack for his 2 running backs, so going back into the 3rd and the 4th round, able to get those 2 bell cows, which I think have the potential to be just as good as a lot of those first-round running backs and or early second-round backs, guys like Dalvin Cook or guys like Nick Chubb. So anyways, really like his roster. Other takeaways, I like Lisa's team. Even a couple of the auto drafters, aforementioned, that being Kim, and also who is our other auto drafter? Shannon. So not bad rosters. I think considering the auto draft element, it did a fairly nice job of putting together a good roster. I mean, Cam Newton, which I really like coming into this year, if he stays healthy, he's always a monster. David Johnson, Duke Johnson, we'll see what happens there, as well as getting Zach Ertz. So just a pretty good team all the way around. As well, as I mentioned, the other auto drafter, Shannon. Where is Shannon? Clueless. Aaron Rodgers, Zeke, a lot of her success this year is probably going to be determined by what happens with Ezekiel Elliott in that situation with the Dallas Cowboys. If he comes back at some point, early in the season, I think she got him with the 7th, 8th pick, so later in the first round. Obviously, much later than he would have been had he resolved the contract issue and he was in camp and ready to go. But anyways, but good tight end, O.J. Howard. A lot of people have upside there. So Dalvin Cook, which another one that, I mean, could be a very, very good pick. So that's intriguing. If he stays healthy, he's clearly has potential to be a top 5 back in the league, and getting him, I think, in the early second round. So I think that there's potential for some good value there. Lisa's team loved Wentz this year, got Saquon. If you guys probably have already realized this, the Saquon was not the number 1 pick in this year's draft. Dave Dirksen had the number 1 pick and went a little contrarian, although I wouldn't call it incredibly like earth-shattering breaking news. He took Christian McCaffrey and at number 1, and so that left Saquon to go number 2 to Lisa. And so, people are going to debate either way. Was it the right move? Was it the wrong move? It's all just a matter of opinion. We are doing a half-point PPR this year, so it makes things a little bit more intriguing, but also gives some additional value to Christian McCaffrey, obviously. So, but yeah, I like Lisa's roster a lot too. And then, so, Tex-Mex, the defending champion, has a lot of upside, but also some question marks when you get Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, 2 former Steelers on new teams, new faces, new places, obviously incredibly talented, have been incredibly productive in their careers, but in the new scenery where they're at, the Jets and Oakland, not going to be particularly good teams. I think we can all agree on that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do outside of the Steelers system again. So Baker Mayfield, quarterback, a lot of upside there as well. So, some real potential there. And then going through Nick Chubb, I liked. Missy was able to pick him up. And Devontae Adams, I like that. Brad, Noah Fant, I know you're a Hawkeye guy, but taking Noah Fant, the rookie out of the University of Iowa, Denver Broncos select him first round, and he's plug and playing him. So it's going to be interesting to see tight ends historically, take a couple years to develop in terms of being viable in any type of fantasy capacity. You don't have generally a lot of tight ends that come right out of the gate and crush it. Learning the blocking schemes, route trees, etc. The offense is obviously much more complicated at the pro level. But anyway, so we'll see. So that was an interesting pick, I thought. And Jackie, the backup kicker thing. Yeah. Anyways, but Patrick Mahomes went in the first round. That was her first selection. We all know what he can do. Can he do quite what he did last year? I don't think anyone expects that. But if he can be 80% of what he was last year, that's still going to be incredible numbers, and is going to serve her well. Todd Gurley, again, I think there's some question marks there. Is the workload going to be what it has been traditionally in the past with the knee issue? So I think that remains to be seen. But again, he's even another guy. If he's 80% of what he has been traditionally, you're still great, right? So, and let's see, who haven't we mentioned here? Mr. Richard, Matt Ryan, third round. I'm good. I'm high on Matt Ryan, but third round is a hefty price tag. But Matt Ryan has been a guy that has delivered some third round value, namely his MVP year. So, and he had a good year last year. And I think that there's some upside in the offense. Steve Sarkisian left. I can't recall the name of who now is taking back over the play calling responsibilities. But I look for Matt Ryan to have a big year. Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill. So, again, you can make a case for about any of these rosters being formidable, being good. Looking at even someone like Nate, a.k.a. Shane Falco, Trubisky has a good floor in terms of the rushing that he will deliver on. Aaron Jones was interesting. I think Aaron Jones went above some guys like Nick Chubb and some other guys. So again, number one running back, talented running back in a good offense with Aaron Rodgers. So a lot of potential there to have really, I mean, I think people are looking for Aaron Jones to have a career year, and he hasn't necessarily had like that breakout year, and it's been, I think, in the works or for the last couple of years. So we'll see if that finally happens. So DeAndre Hopkins, you know, what more are you going to say? You've got the best receiver in the game. So, all right. Well, let's get to some takeaways here. Otherwise, I've got some bold predictions. I think Leonard Fournette's going to lead the league in rushing, and I don't think many people see that coming. But for some reason, I just think that he's been injured. He's incredibly talented, but he's kind of underwhelmed to this point, mainly due to the injuries that he has sustained. But if he puts together a 16-game season, you've got Nick Foles, a better passing game, kind of a new, fresh start, I think, for that team. They've got a good defense. So I think they're going to be looking to pound the rock. And I think my bold prediction is Leonard Fournette leads the league in rushing this year. And obviously, Team Vogeleye, Dave, would certainly sign up for that since he drafted him. So best value of the draft overall from what I saw, I mean, you can make a case for a lot of these, but MVC, Valdez-Scantling, the number 2 receiver in that Packers offense, went in the 10th round. Yeah. He was in my queue. I probably waited 1 round too long because he went like 2 picks before I wanted to grab him. So 10th round for the number 2 receiver. And if anything were to happen to Devontae Adams, like MVC turns into just a monster. And in the 10th round, yeah, I'd sign up for that all day. So that was a value pick to me. It's going to be some things I think to keep an eye on. I mean, obviously for those who are tied to any Cleveland Browns players, there's been an incredible amount of hype and even hysteria in some cases around the Browns and what they are going to be or potentially could be. So guys with like Odell Beckham and Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Njoku at tight end, and then Baker Mayfield. There's a lot of hype around these guys, and you know they're a young team. Can they put it together and deliver on? I mean, they have the ingredients and the talent, but a rookie head coach, a lot of expectations, and can they live up to them? I don't know. We will see. I talked about Mahomes. I think can he kind of live up because the expectations have obviously increased as well. I don't know what more you can do when you already throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. That's a tough act to follow. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what the young man can do this year, another year in the Andy Reid offense. So otherwise, again, my nod goes to Big Mark in terms of the best team on paper right now. I think, obviously a lot of people could probably make argument in other directions for other teams, but that's my takeaway right now. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Looking forward to the season. Like I said, kicks off Thursday, Packers at the Bears. And glad everyone, hopefully, I should say I hope everyone enjoyed the draft and is excited about the team that they have. So it probably won't be long. We're going to be out there on the waiver wire. We're going to be looking to make some moves as some things start to break loose in week 1. Don't forget, trades are on the table. I know Big Mark, not a big fan of the whole trade, idea, but let's keep an open mind. That's always an option. So enjoy the season. There'll be more videos to come throughout. I'll try and keep things updated, keep it fresh, and keep you guys in the know and let you know what I'm thinking as we work through and do some evaluation and some recaps after each week to kind of see where things are at. So enjoy the season. Happy fantasy football. We're back. We'll see you.